Does a screenwriter have to live in Los Angeles?
Preferably no, but it helps, tremendously to live in Los Angeles, to be around the business. There's no doubt about it. Like we were talking about earlier, you could be out anywhere and run into somebody. Not that it's your choice of networking, but you're around it. There's so many. Any night there's a screening. There's Academy screenings. There's Writers Guild special things where you can meet the filmmaker, and American Cinematheque has it all the time. The filmmaker's there. You can ask questions, to learn and study. And you don't get that in smaller places or places that aren't Hollywood, And now you can work it, but let's say you get a meeting. You're going to have to fly in, and that meeting could end up being just a general meeting that, you drive to Pasadena for, 28 miles, but you're going to fly across the country. And it could end up, and you want to maybe schedule a few of them, but you know what I mean? It's sort of, it's not impossible. So no one should say, well, I don't live in Hollywood, I won't be a screenwriter. A lot of people live outside of Hollywood, but you're going to have to throw your stuff into the ring and come out for meetings and have that expense, be able to get off from work, these type of things. And traditionally, I don't know what town size that somebody might be in, but you're not running in those circles where somebody says, hey, come to this party, or I got this screening, to meet people, to put it out there. Or the festivals that are here all the time. You can enter your film obviously from elsewhere, but to go to them and network, and stuff like that. So it's not impossible, but there's so much here if you work it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What about not knowing temperament is the wrong word, sort of having a pulse on, I know it's such a cliche term, having a pulse on the industry, but really there is a different way of working in LA, and just because somebody says, great, we'll be in touch, it doesn't mean that, where it might mean that more in the Midwest, where people might be more apt to keep their word.
Or I'll read your screenplay.
Okay, right. So kind of
6 months later.
And knowing that actually 2 years later they could actually call you, so you don't want to get mad and shoot an email and say, how dare
Yeah,
so there is like this different protocol here, and if you don't live here and you're around different surroundings where things may mean what they mean.
Right. Then you hold them to a higher standard, which they don't. They go, what did you mean you believed me? Well, I believe a person of their word. You expect me to be that way? Well, forget it, Jake. It's Hollywood,
Well, sometimes they keep their word. It's just several years later.
Yes, it just takes longer, of course. Yeah.
And so the natural inclination would be to be hurt or angry, but really if you just kept that door open, it could actually happen.
Yes, you don't want to burn any bridge ever.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe people don't understand that there is like a different way.
Yeah, they'll learn quickly if they come out here, and go, wow, I have to change my, the way I deal with people. Well, I wouldn't change myself. I would still be that person who you are. I don't, drop to that. But it would be frustrating when no one else, like you were saying, is plays that way. They play with their own rules.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or you could be someone you wouldn't hear from someone for a very long time, and then the next thing you know, now you're always hearing from them.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Feast or famine. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
So from just visiting here, I don't think you would get that.
No, you wouldn't. Just to come out for a meeting, you'd be wined and dined, or maybe not. Maybe it's just a general meeting. Sometimes a meeting's just a meeting.
Get a soda.
Yeah. If you're lucky. Cigar's just a cigar. So, people online, I got a meeting, blah, 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 and they boast about, okay, that's great. But what happens when I've been to a million general meetings myself, and they just want to meet you and say, glad to meet you. And that's great, but it doesn't mean, I used to love to have, oh my God, I got a meeting, because the potentiality of the whole thing, and then you learn some people's job is just to take a meeting. They want to have a face with a name, and that's it. And maybe if you've got a product and you can show them a script, it's something great, but it doesn't mean they're going to buy it tomorrow. But you build on that. You build over a number of years,
So then
But-
So then being here, it's not just the cost of going to a meeting and getting off work and being close by. It's also knowing how things work and what a word
and
really means.
being in a way in front of them more than out somewhere where, you know what I mean, you could potentially, I don't know, it's, you know, if I disappear, you're off my radar. I mean, there's still email, yes, but I'm saying that face to face, like, and then what about the last minute meeting that came up? You're not going to be able to get a plane flight, red eye to fly out, you know what I mean? So if things bob and switch, you can tomorrow go, oh my God, I can go to Warner Brothers. It just opened up, or you know what I mean? So, you know, but don't leave your family and your job and say, I'm all in, you know, because it's going to be rough, you know, unless there's a guaranteed, like they're flying you out, you know, type of thing. You know, it's a done deal. They're buying the script, you know, but I just think living here puts you around it all the time. If that's on your, if that's what you want to do, you know.
What about jinxing something by saying, guess what, I got this meeting, or guess what, I got this
of course, all the
audition?
time. That's why I have a blog article about, you know, keep your, like in poker, you know, don't spread it out there, because many times it's going to bomb, and then what do you know, it's going to look like, yeah, you know, you're boasting about this meeting, it could be it, and you're let down in front of everybody else, you know, your failures, which is fine, but you don't want to present that too much. You know, it's a private thing. You just say, yeah, I'm working on it. You know, I got some meetings and it looks good, you know, because a lot of energy is spent, and I understand the anticipation, the excitement of it, you know, you want to share that. But it's also a big fall. You know, they're going to make the movie. Well, not until the check clears. You know, I've been to many times, and the head of production goes, "Oh, we'll be shooting in, you know, 6 weeks," and it's 7 weeks. What's going on? You know, if I told everybody, you know, "Oh, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to do that," you know, be a big fall. You know, so it's a lot easier to blow, just to be sort of even keel, not these. Too hard to over the long haul to have these big ups and downs. It's just the middle area is the best place to be.